Ah, it was a shit eater. I don't know how far down I am. Oh, I don't know, halfway down, I guess. I decided today was the day to go retrieve a couple of trail cameras. I knew I was somewhat early. I thought maybe I'd get lucky because there's just not enough snow gone yet, but I ended up having to work for it, that's for sure. I can show you a little quick glimpse into what I had to do to get the second camera, which was the toughest one. And of course, the shitty thing about trail camera life is they all fail equally. Some absolutely fail way more than others. There's no way getting out of it. And I left two cameras in this particular side of the mountain, and the top one failed. Last time I was up there, I think was in October. I switched out the cards, so I have a feeling the SD card's what failed possibly. But and then the other one, the SD card won't read the SD card reader won't read it from my phone, so I won't even know till I get back to whether or not it found some new stuff that I should be aware of, or some cool stuff to share, or whatever. So anyway, it's time to stop and do some sharing of emails, and then I'll carry on my hike back and then top it off. So I got two of these cameras with me, and one of them, this one, the lens is kind of scratched, and if the sun hits it, it makes it look like there's some kind of a ghost in front of me. And the other one, which is filming right now, it still films, but the audio is screwed because I took it hunting so many times, it got wet so many times, something happened inside the camera. So what I'm getting at is I had this camera out, and normally I have them all in my backpack. And I put the cameras and the stuff back in my backpack, started hiking downhill, post-holing up to my knee, and I probably went about 600 meters. And I thought, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't put both cameras in my backpack, I don't think. Sure enough, I left this one up there in the timber, and I had to hike all the way back up to go get it. Yep. There's no way escaping stupid sometimes. We all got a little bit in us each, that's for sure. Okay, getting on with it. So, I think I'm not sure what. Sometimes a lot of these emails get delivered to you out of order, and I may comment on a video either too soon or far too long after a certain video which I'm referring to. Now, one of the videos previous to this one, once you hear this, is, like I said earlier, is every once in a while, as long as you keep this momentum going, as long as you share everyone, make sure everybody's safe to share here, and you don't twist anything up, you don't leave anything out, you let the people share with the people here. That's the key to success, obviously. It's not about me, it's not about any individual, it's about the people. That's why there are so many people here. Now, another thing I mentioned too is, as long as you keep going, eventually you will get that particular person's possibly going to finally realize that this is truly a safe place to let her rip. Then they're going to come out and come in the open with something that's going to absolutely kick us in the face or blow our socks off, just like in the past Edgar has, and numerous other people. And I have a feeling that this is happening right now. Now, I read these, obviously as I get here, I start reading these for the first time on average, and there is a lot of emails that I haven't shared because my guts are burning. This person's absolutely full of shit, or a lunatic, or missing some marbles, and I don't even have to waste the time to share that email with all of you. You just get thrown in the garbage pile and you carry on, right? No big deal. Is it worth getting upset about? No. You have to weed through the weeds to get to the grass, right? I mean, you just got to do it, and it's no problem at all. So my guts are telling me this person's sincere so far. I can't see any reason why not to share this. Obviously, it's a bit of a share to take in and process. He's offered up a whole pile of pictures with this one. I believe this is the third email that I'll be reading from this individual, and from what he claims and states and shares, he has some freaking substantial information to share with the people. All right, so let's listen to what he says. He's gone way out of his way to share with all you through me, and he's shared substantially, and he promises to share a lot more. So listen to this, and at the end of it, we will look at the photographs that he's shared to date so far with this email, and we're going to keep going. All right? Steve, you're probably not going to want to read the emails. I probably sound random and crazy. I figure you may want to hear the entire story. If so, LMK, and I'll take a day or two to write it out so that's understandable. I've photographed the entire time, and then I have pics that allude to my honesty and sincerity. I got a couple of non-woo pics you may find interesting. However, the real interaction and communication started when I put the cameras down. I feel that if the wrong person reads the real meat and potatoes of my journey in and with the forestman, that it may not go well. It didn't for me at all. My honesty and exuberance early on ended up with my house burned and more. But seriously, I've got so many pics on old broken phones, and one that shows what takes our and the forestman's children, pics showing how this whole thing works, and a couple only half the people that look at can see. Me and a biologist out of Jacksonville went to a highly energetic spot, and I got these all on the same day. The first one is of Governor, I call him. They were training dogs that day. I didn't think I'd make it out of that wondrous place. I also have pics of how the operation he seemed to be managing works, and how also. The second one is a male chimp type, shot from probably 75 yards on an old Nokia Lumia Icon, and is very cropped. I put the camera down at the mother's request, and that's when the whole thing just crashed open, leaving me a bit addlepated. But I'm beyond my great dismay, and I am a gifted person in many ways, but I'm most blessed to have been welcomed into so many different clans and so much life that most never get to see. I'm not crazy, I'm no fool, and they've been contacting me since before I started school, but with an older brother diagnosed schizophrenic. I kept quiet and stayed inside a lot, thinking I too was schizophrenic, only to get a video of a big male and a pic with a handful of them in it. What a mind bender. How could the camera be crazy? It can't. So, at that point, it was not easy to wrap my head around the fact that I wasn't crazy my whole life, and everyone I listened to and didn't speak of my lifelong encounters because of their logic are all hard to view in a normal way now. But hey, I've been so afraid at times I thought I'd die of heart attack or dismemberment at their hands. But I couldn't not continue. I'm an old outlaw type, Steve, honestly, and I'm a good person in spite of my past, and I've beaten my dismay, came to grips with much more complex picture of good and purposed world that I share with many spirited beings. Also, Steve, I've taught a handful of people on how to see them. Ironically, they all see better than I do. Steve, I appreciate you. What I have to share with you and David P., should you decide or he to be included, will change your life forever. But once a fellow has a bit of time within this complex part of our world, the days are so much fuller and more rounded and complete. If you ever truly want to learn of and how to have full understanding, you want to hear this true but unbelievable story. God bless you and David P., as you guys have heart, determination, and also credibility. My past may rule out complete credibility in some eyes and minds, but what the Forestman and I have done together is beyond incredible. I don't care about fame or money. I do appreciate a new life in an honest and fully rounded way. It's incredible, Steve, and you haven't heard the best parts. 2016 to now, full contact. Full comms, full admittance. And where this story goes, I'm going to blow your mind. Fill your heart and free your soul. Attaching 2 pics. The only 2 I show. I sent more, I couldn't help it, LOL. I'm Adam Bennett, by the way. It's a pleasure to finally contact with you, man. You're not going to believe what I can do with these beautiful beings. I still really can't. God bless. Next time I'll use paragraphs. I know it helps. P.S. The biggest male on my spot is busy in my yard, and when he gets within about 10 feet of my camper, the camper moves. It's incredible. 22-inch prints. And best of all, we're neighbors. Tried and true. This is a beautiful world, Steve. I should have only sent 2 pics. Even when I click onto the pics, the resolution is lost in the message compression. I forgot, my bad. Here's another email attached to the bottom of this one I copied and saved. Oh, this is me. Right, okay, so originally Adam emailed me, and I think he was starting to lose enthusiasm because I wasn't getting back to him. And he figured I was bypassing his emails or didn't believe him or something. But in the meantime, I just hadn't read them. So I did a search on his name in my inbox, come up with 2 previous emails, and I took a screenshot to prove to him that I hadn't seen them yet, which I hadn't. And that was my following email that I sent to him. And this is possibly, okay, I'll read this one. I may have read this previously, but what the hell. We're going to make this entire video about Adam and what he has to share. So I'll keep going. Hey Steve, I appreciate giving a podium to the witnesses of the forestmen. I really like that. I've written you a few times, no response. I figured you're super busy. You had mentioned what it's like or what happened if someone held their gaze and communicated with them. I've done it and do it fairly often. At first I thought they were trying to somehow harm me, but to the contrary, it's how they communicate. I can't receive the messages very well, but there's a mother forestman who figured out how to make it at least sometimes receivable by me. She's such a great being. She's tired, broken-hearted, and probably couldn't bear to lose another baby. They're hunted by the same things that take us at times. In spite of this, she still carries on and finds time for me here and there. There's a lot to this. Too much to put into the public domain. That is basically unbelievable. If you'd like to further the conversation, I will talk to you. This true story I've got and that I'm living is just too much to text. Steve, thanks for being a steady platform for us. Most people jump out of the studies of forestmen when they come too close to one. The males make me feel like pissing my pants, laying down in the fetal position and never stepping back out into the wood line. But I'm ignorant. I'm determined, and I'm lucky to have known the mother behind my place, as she opened the door and allowed me access. I don't want to tell you the process of being accepted by them, and by more than them, as I'm afraid that someone will get hurt trying to contact and be accepted by them. This will definitely be the last correspondence I send. It's frustrating to have the key to the kingdom and not to be heard or acknowledged, so I'll save myself from getting into that tar pit. I don't know what else to say. If I see you respond before I write everything down and send it to you, not to be seen. No pressure, no hostility on my end. I'm just being honest and forthright. Alright, and then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's probably a dozen photographs I'm going to share right now. And I'll let the photographs sit there so you can soak them into your eyeballs. And then after that, I think I'll keep this video, I'll bring this video to a close. And then I will eagerly await Adam's next submission to the people, for the people. Alright? And hopefully this will be a possible massive puzzle piece dump for many of us who are avidly, eagerly seeking out the missing pieces to each of our own personal puzzles. Alright? I have a feeling this is possibly going to be quite interesting, and possibly, maybe, will be one of the emails that we have all been expecting to come our way from as a result of this massive effort of honesty and good people forming a massive round table of knowledge.